Welcome back to another Nerdy Media podcast. This is episode 4. And in this episode, we're going to talk about Google Ads. Some people are familiar with Google Ads. Some people are familiar with one side of Google Ads, but there's multiple sides to Google Ads. I'm going to focus heavily on the PPC side because that is one of the hardest parts to manage, but the YouTube side is also pretty hard and requires a lot. But Google Ads, there's a lot of parts. So there's a search side, which used to be called Google AdWords back in the day, and now you have the YouTube side. You also have the Google Market side as well, which is for e-commerce. And there's some other Google Ads products as well. But today, if you're not familiar with Google Ads or Google AdWords, when it comes to search, Google is number one. Google takes in about between 85 to 90% of global search traffic. And that is the reason that Google Ads, Google search is so effective. You have a vast market of potential leads, potential customers, clients, or what have you, that you can pull from if you can, get the right amount of clicks, the right amount of search volume for your campaigns, and if you can convert those people. We run a lot of pay-per-click campaigns, PPC, and basically with Google search, you pay when someone clicks. Now, one thing that you have to recognize is that with these search campaigns, you have to get clicks in order to get more impressions. And some people don't realize that. They tailor their campaigns to what they're doing, and a lot of times they don't get clicks, so that means they're not getting a lot of impressions, and they're frustrated. And a lot of our clients, when they come to us, they say, hey, I have this campaign going, I don't get a lot of clicks, I don't get a lot of data, can you help me? And a lot of times we'll go through, look at their campaigns, see that people are not clicking because of the ad copy, because of the targeted keywords that they have mixed in there, and a lot of the other things. And then people that are getting a lot of clicks, a lot of times they have a hard time converting. And converting is very important because now you're spending money and you're not making a lot of money. So the return on ad spend is not there. And you have to revamp that campaign, and it's not just about the landing page. You have to look where people are stopping in the funnel. The landing page could be one. It could be other parts of the funnel that people are stopping at, and then the last part could be they're just not converting on the billing side because they can't make a payment. But all of these things are very important. One thing that we start with is the tracking when it comes to all of these campaigns. Tracking is so important. If you don't have a internal tracking system, or you can use a third party sometimes, but I prefer internal tracking systems because you can customize it. Customizing a tracking system is very important. Each business is different. Going with a third party, sometimes it's hard to customize. Yes, you can, put in different variables, but those variables are kind of weighted the same. A lot of times you need to weight variables very differently when it comes to tracking these things. And variables could be various things. Variables could be things like time on the page. These are simplified variables, by the way. I don't want to confuse you with some of the more sophisticated variables, but time on site, the bounce rate, where the user is from, location, the time that the user comes into your site. All of these variables may need a different weighted system to calculate how effective your campaign is. So, that's one thing that we try to do. We try to, when we work with our customers, we actually offer a free CRM system that we can customize and help our customers kind of take in these variables and weight them a little differently. And then that kind of tells us, okay, this is what we need to do. Okay, let's put more weight into this variable. Let's start to target these people. Let's do a lot of things. And outside of those variables, you can start to add AI automation. I think I talked about AI on one podcast, and I don't want people to get me wrong. Yes, AI is great. It's not the end all be all, at least not right now, but in the future, it will get a lot better. But when it comes to ad management, AI systems can do a lot for you. A human only has so much time in a day, right? We can only sit there watching, analyzing data, for maybe 8 hours, right? And it's not a straight 8 hours. But if they're analyzing the data, it's not 24/7. And it's not down to every minute, every second. People, when you're dealing with the Google sales reps, they're going to tell you like, hey, well, our system is AI and it's going to do what it needs to do for your campaigns. That's not true. All right. Google's AI is there to get the most money for Google. All right. They're going to look where they're going to get the most clicks. They're going to rank the ads that can get the most clicks the highest, no matter what people are bidding on. But, it's a little bit more sophisticated than that, right? It's the amount that they're willing to pay per click and the amount of clicks that they're getting. And that system is basically ranking those ads based on those factors. And like I said, it's a weighted factor, just like you need a weighted factor on your end, on your CRM. Google is weighting the factor on their end with their AI as well. But, don't depend on Google's AI to help you fulfill your needs, right? Unless you're the number one advertiser out there with an unlimited budget, which there isn't one out there like that, then the system is not going to work in your favor unless you do things on your end to help that system work in your favor. There's a lot of things that you can do. One thing I don't want to talk too much about, but negative keywords is very important. One thing that you would notice with Google AdWords or Google PPCI, sometimes I go back to AdWords. One thing that you would notice is you get a lot of what is called variants. These variants will, cause, sometimes variants are good. They kind of give you keywords that you weren't thinking about that are closely related to the keywords that you're searching for. Then you get these variants that are not so great. And what we like to look at is intent. Intent of that variant or that word that person was searching for. Intent means like, hey, their intent was to search for a, let's say, rehab facility and not just ask questions about, different kinds of drugs and things like that. So depending on the intent, you may or may not want to use that keyword. And it's kind of hard for an AI system to understand intent. Now, they may understand certain words like how, when, where, those kind of words. You want to help the AI system kind of understand, like, okay, if someone is asking, how do I get drugs? Then their intent is not really what you're looking for. But if they're using the word, how do I get help for my drug addiction, then that may be a word that you may want to add to your keyword list. And you're always going to be fighting variants, right? Because when humans search for a term, they're not searching the way that you think. The majority of the keywords may be, rehab near me, or the majority of the keywords will just be other words where they're just searching for various information of how to beat addiction and things like that. So just note, when you're running paid search campaigns, it's very important to look at those keywords lists. Now, same thing happens when it comes to YouTube, right? You have to know what kind of videos you want your ads to be associated with. That's part one. And then you have to look at the intent of the search terms that these people are searching for. So when you're running a campaign on YouTube, it's very important to look at that. That's the number one part of the data that you should be looking at. And then, you want to make sure that your creative closely matches what someone is searching for. The more creative you have, the more likely you are to succeed when it comes to YouTube. And we try to help our clients out with that as well. If you can have at the very least, 5 variations of your ad that can, be showcased on Google, YouTube, it would be really great for you, and it would convert a lot better. Case in point, if you're a law firm, let's talk about law firms. If you are an injury lawyer, whether it's let's say you're employee compensation, right? You would want to have a YouTube video geared towards employer compensation, maybe for in an office, all right? Maybe for a person that's on a blue collar type of job. Maybe someone that has been discriminated against because they got injured before, and that employer is looking to fire them. So there's certain variations that you would want to basically, have that video, have multiple videos to help you convert on YouTube. And YouTube is really great. Once you put that first video out there or second video out there, and you start to get the data, you see what people are searching for, you can start to take those search terms and start to create those videos. It will help you. And a lot of times, you can create, it's so easy to create videos nowadays. You have text to speech videos where you can have, you can write up a cool, article and convert it into speech, and then convert that into a video with some B-roll footage. Now, let me explain this about B-roll footage. It's okay. We would definitely love, to showcase who you are as a person on in that footage, but mixing in B-roll footage is very important. One of the biggest questions that I get from advertisers is, how long should the video be when it comes to YouTube? All right, minimum 30 seconds, maximum 5 minutes. Now, 5 minutes is based off depending on your product, right? You see those videos where it's about weight loss, and they go into this whole spiel about what a person did. Then they talk about eating. Then they talk about this and that, and then buy their book, right? So those videos require 5 minutes, because they know if you spend so much time on those videos, that you're more than likely to convert. All right. So just getting that click from YouTube is not that important from them. The most important thing for those people is to know, like, hey, they spent at least half the time on our video, 50%. You'll get those numbers as well in YouTube. They spent about 50 minutes on our ad. 50% on our ad, and then they clicked. So these people were very engaged before they clicked. Now we can sell them on our book, and then upsell them to our training videos or whatever else you have. And different things will work for different industries. So it really depends on your industry of what kind of video you need to make, the format of the video, how it flows, and things like that. But for most just general products, about 30 seconds. And that 30 seconds is more than enough time to get people very interested in your product. Once they're interested in your product, you definitely want to have a form to capture that person. Just remember, if a person is watching a video and they go to your site, you want to make it as easy as possible to capture that person's data. And that's why a CRM system is very important as well, because you capture that person in your sales pipeline, and basically you can go back. You already have that person's information. You can email market them, SMS marketing. SMS is text message marketing. And then basically you can uh, you know, get that person to convert later. Because a lot of times when someone is watching a video, they're searching for something, and they click on your ad and they go to your website and they see the information. They kind of want to go through a little quickly. They may not make a purchase right away. They may go back to their YouTube video and be engaged into whatever they're watching, whether it's the latest NFL Kendrick Lamar video or whatever. So you want to make it as easy as possible for that person to put in their information, and then you want to be able to retarget that person. And a lot of times when you make that landing page, especially if you know that you're capturing a target audience, especially a younger demographic that has a short attention span, make it as easy and quickly as possible to capture their data right away. All right. So do that first, capture their data. They may only stay on that page for, you'll be lucky, maybe 5 minutes, and then they're back to their YouTube video, and then they may forget about your ad. But once you send them that email or that SMS message, then they're engaged again, and you may have a conversion on your hand later on down the road. So that's very important. You got to have the tools on the back end for these ad campaigns that you're running to make them very effective. And a lot of times when we work with clients, they don't have that set up already ready to go. And that's very, very important. Having a CRM system, work with AI technology to kind of help your ad campaigns do really well. And the other thing that the AI system and the CRM system can do really well is also let Google Ads know, hey, we want to cut off this campaign. We want to turn on this campaign. It's not doing well today, and there's reason that you want to do that. Trends change from day to day, and what I mean by trends, one day your campaign may be doing really, really well, and then the next day it may be doing really, really bad, and that could just be from economics, anything in the market. And just various other factors that could be going on throughout that day. You want your AI system to be able to send that communication back to your Google Ads campaign to turn on your campaign or to increase the budget throughout the day. If your campaign is doing well, let's say, maybe around noon, you may want to increase the budget by 20% for that day. If your campaign is not doing well, you may want to decrease the budget for that day by 30% or even shut the campaign off. So having an AI system that is constantly reading that data, analyzing that data 24/7 will help you maximize the return on ad spend. And it's very important. It's very important nowadays. It's very hard to have a dummy system work with Google's AI system and be effective. It's kind of, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's very hard. So we kind of, when we're starting with a client, we always start there because we know in order for them to become successful, they need the technology side of ad campaign versus just managing and throwing in keywords and things like that. And you will notice with a lot of agencies, they just have people there that are just, writing up reports, putting in keywords, optimizing keywords at the end of the day or the next day, maybe most of the time really is like once a week. And your return on ad spend is very, very low, right? If it's not, it could be in a negative as well. So it's important to have those technology aspect on it. Also, too, one thing that our AI system looks at as well, with certain campaigns is device. There's click fraud going on in, Google Ads. It's not immune to it from any other system. There's some click fraud, and you have to have a system that monitors that type of thing, right? It's not as easy now just to say, oh, if that if that is coming from one server, one IP address. A lot of times you have to look at device, how that device is reacting. Um, you know, is it just sitting there? Is it moving the mouse around? Is it really checking this side of the site? Is it doing normal human interactions? And sometimes you will find out, sometimes it depends on the industry, but sometimes we've caught, just fraudulent traffic about 20%. And it was just like mind blowing to see that, a lot of these devices that were, that was clicking on these ads were just stale. They sat there, they didn't do anything. And it wasn't really, you know, a normal human reaction when they go to a landing page. So that's one thing that an AI system can kind of see, tell the other AI system, hey, we don't want traffic from here anymore. Make sure, we cut off ads from this search network. Just note that in Google Ads, especially on the PPC side, they have other networks that they work with. So a lot of times your clicks, sometimes they're coming from google.com, but they could be coming from other search networks as well. Depends on how you set up the campaign. And it's good to get clicks from other search networks. You just got to know how to deal with it, and you got to be able to do it smartly. And the clicks are a lot cheaper to get it through the other networks than it is to get it directly on google.com. So you could be paying, let's say, $50 per click from google.com, and some search network you could be paying as low as $10, right? So you're getting a lot more clicks for those dollars. On the other network, you just got to make sure it's clean and that there are reliable clicks and that they're really good. So it's very important to watch that. And there's a lot of variables that you have to watch for when you're dealing with these networks as well. So and then if you're an e-commerce site, you definitely want to run on the Google Market. And basically, you want to showcase your product there. And it's very important, right? Because these are people that are putting in search terms looking for searchable products, right? For me, I look for shoes a lot. My kids, they play basketball. We're always looking for shoes. Whether it's a certain kind of Nike shoe, we're making sure that, we're getting the best deal for it, right? I'm a cheapo, and I don't want to pay full price when I can get it somewhere a lot cheaper. And so when we're searching for things online, a lot of companies come up. You'll see various sporting goods stores. You'll see online sites. Be careful with some of the online sites. Make sure you read the reviews if you're a customer, and that's very important too. Make sure that your product is getting good reviews, and then also you want to, there's also the clearance stores and things like that we see the products on. So, going into the marketplace, you can see different variations of the product and also different colors, right? When it comes to shoes, you may have the LeBrons or what have you in a certain colorway, and then you may have it in a different colorway here. And the showcase of the product, the pictures, the images, and things like that in the marketplace will help you convert that sale. And then when they click through on your marketplace, just make sure your payment processing is in order and you can get the customer an account pretty quickly. One thing that you also want to do is make sure you have all of these social logins to help the customer get through the process really quickly. And social logins are basically like Google, Facebook, Twitter or X.com now, to basically so the customer information is transferred over to you pretty quickly, meaning like their email address, their name, things like that. Now, their address and their zip code, especially if you're shipping a product, won't be transferred over, but they can put in that information a lot quicker than having to go through those other steps. Making sure you can eliminate steps is very important, and it will help you. It will help you convert a lot better. It's just you got to make things easier for the customers. But like I said, Google Ads is a very, very good platform to advertise on. It's one of the best platforms to advertise on. It's where you have to start. But just note nowadays, it's not as easy as it used to be, and you want to be more efficient, right? Like I said, here at Nerdy Media, we help our clients with various items, CRM systems. We also help with creating videos, building landing pages, keyword search, and managing all types of search campaigns, including SEO. SEO and search campaigns go hand in hand. Whatever keyword that you're building these pages with is very important and will translate over to the Google Ads side as well. So if you guys ever need help, feel free to reach out to us. Our website is nerdymedia.net. And you can just send me an email and I'll respond to you right away. But we're always here to help. And I thank you for watching this podcast. I hope to talk to you more next time. Thank you. Bye.